creatures of the night? It's the girl Tati, and let's talk about Ring of Honor. I will also be talking about my predictions for the Ring of Honor Final Battle pay-per-view, which is tomorrow night. So if you have any predictions, put them down below on what you think is going to happen or what you would like to see, whatever. Also, if anybody would like to join me on the panel for Final Battle, for a watch along, please let me know, so I can have somebody watching the show with me. If not, then you can, be in the comments and check out what's going on, as I talk about what's going on the show live. Now, look, I'm just going to be honest. I felt underwhelmed with this. I wish it was better for a go-home show for Final Battle. But I do think that when it comes to the pay-per-view, they're going to knock it out of the park like they normally do. We did start off with singles action. We had Bishop Khan with Toy Leona ringside versus Lee Johnson with EJ Nduka ringside. And no funny business going on. These guys are ringside just to make sure nothing happens. And it was a fair one-on-one fight. It was very interesting to see, because Bishop Khan doesn't normally do singles action in AEW. So I was just like, okay, there's a little something different for us to see. He looks great. He looks like $1 million. He absolutely do. And I mean, when I think of a star, he looks like that. He really does look like that. And I hope that the company gives him an opportunity to show if he is star quality. Now, Lee Johnson is a great wrestler, but he just doesn't have the personality that I think that he could be able to convey. We have to do a lot of work when it comes to Lee Johnson. Great matchup. Chemistry was great. However, because Bishop Khan is seemingly kind of acting like he's a little bit full of himself. He's hot and sexy. We know it too. But now he's just seeming to talk more about his looks and things like that, which is okay, and kind of gets distracted with how great he is and how great he think he is. And while he is letting the audience know that he's great, instead of just going for the fucking kill, Lee Johnson turns out to pull the most devastating moves in pro wrestling, which is the roll-up. He ends up taking a win. Bishop Khan wants to whoop his ass, but Toy Leona is just like, you know what? Leave him. We'll get him next time. EJ Nduka come into the ring, and then Bishop Khan steps up to him. Now, Lee Johnson, he is barely on one foot after this match. However, the Aces of Agony know to just leave EJ Nduka alone, so they leave him alone, and we're just gonna wait to get their hands on them at another time. Now after this, we do have Lee Moriarty, who is going to put his pure title on the line. He has an open challenge. Anybody who dares to want to step up against him should come to the pay-per-view, and they'll go for the title. Whoop-de-doo. It was a great promo, but I really do wish it would have turned out to be him versus Matt Taven, since they build for quite some time for Matt Taven to go for that title, and for Matt to just go for that title right before the pay-per-view, a week before, is just so weird to me. Now, after this, we do have Layla Hirsch and Red Velvet backstage. They have a last little meetup before their match for the Ring of Honor TV title. And Layla Hirsch is like, bitch, I beat you before, and I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to take that title off of you. I'm looking forward to that match. It's going to be great. I think they've had great chemistry with each other before, but now with the title on the line, they know that there's so much more at stake. So I'm expecting a really, really great matchup between these two. Now, here we have the Righteous. They are just sneaking off somewhere next to this building, and then we see a truck pull up. The truck pulls up, Dustin Rhodes come out, and we learn that we are at Dustin's little school that's like 2 hours away from me, something like that. It was really interesting because they're waiting for Dustin to come in there. Dustin gets in there, and literally, like, not even a whole minute later, the Righteous get in, and somehow Dustin's already vacuuming the wrestling ring that's all the way at the back of the fucking building. It was kind of weird, but whatever. The Righteous are able to sneak up on him because the vacuum is so loud that he doesn't hear anybody getting in or anyone coming from the fucking front door all the way to the back to where the ring is at. Now they creep on into the ring, and they end up attacking Dustin Rhodes. Really, it was Vincent who was really attacking on Dustin. So it kind of seemed fair because Dutch was just like, you know what, bruv, you got this. I'm just going to wait till you're done and then I'm going to come on in. So, like, even though they're able to attack Dustin, they're still going to play fair and just let one of them get their hands on him at a time. Now, Dustin is laid the fuck out. And when they pick up his head, it's nothing but blood leaking all over the place. Now, to make things worse, they see Dustin's phone, they pick it up and they say, you know, we're going to call Sammy Guevara. They call Sammy Guevara on Dustin's phone. Dustin picks up thinking that, not Dustin, Sammy picks up thinking that it's going to be Dustin on the phone. They don't just call him, they FaceTime him so he can see what the fuck they just did to Dustin. Now he's seeing what happened to Dustin and he is yelling or whatever. He's at home, wherever the hell he's at. So there's nothing that he can do. He's far away. And we do have, what's his name, Dutch, who ends up hitting Dustin with the cowbell or whatever the hell you call it. And yeah, you know, the blood is all over the place. And Dustin, his hands is shaking. He's barely able to do anything. Cameraman is just still rolling. He's like, I got the footage. Let me know when y'all done. And I thought it was interesting. And I really, really like the fact that they just didn't have to do anything in the ring. They didn't have to do anything over there. They went to Dustin's school to film something. And I like that. We want to see more of things outside of the ring. More of things outside of just the four corners of that building. And I thought this was a really nice touch right before the pay-per-view. I can't wait to see the Righteous take them titles off of the Sons of Texas. Now, I forgot to mention that right before this match, we did have Lady Frost versus Queen Aminata in a really great match. And seeing them having really great chemistry and being able to put on a pretty good match even for Rampage, for Ring of Honor. The crowd at times were quiet and then sometimes they were nice and loud for the ladies. Queen Aminata, I don't know what's going on. As talented as she is, where are the opportunities for her? Lady Frost too. Now, Lady Frost, she loses just about every single time I see her within AEW Ring of Honor. But man, she's always putting on really great matches. Queen Aminata ends up taking the win with some submission I've never seen before, which I do appreciate. Now, when I think of Queen Aminata, no lie, I see more of her than Billy Starks, perhaps taking the title off of Athena. I wish that was the route that they would be going with, but I'm pretty sure maybe Billy Starks will be the next one to get her hands on that title. We'll see what ends up happening tomorrow at the pay-per-view. Really, really great match. I think this was probably the best match in terms of performance and chemistry on the show. I thought they were really, really great. It would be nice to see more of these ladies on AEW TV. Now, after this, we do have the Iron Savages versus the Murder Machines. Now, when the music started and I see Murder Machines, I was like, who the hell is this? Then that's when Uncle Don comes out with Brian Cage and what's his name? Lance Archer. Why did I forget his name? They come out and they actually gave us a really great tag team match. This wasn't a squash. They didn't just come out there and squash the Iron Savages. They actually went out there and had a really great match. The chemistry between Brian and Lance is actually pretty good. However, in terms of Ring of Honor, we don't want to see these two guys tagging. We want to see the TV champion, Brian Cage, actually doing something on Ring of Honor. Now, I don't mind him tagging with Lance, but unfortunately, with that going on, that takes away from his time with actually being the TV champion of Ring of Honor. So that I'm not feeling whatsoever. However, this match was great. I want to see Lance and Brian tagging more within AEW, maybe even Ring of Honor too. But if he's going to be holding the title, we need to focus on that too. They do end up taking the win, and I just want to say, Boulder, whoever your tanning people are, fire them because you look yellow as fuck, and they miss your back too. So your back looked like normal, and the rest of you just look yellow. Whatever the hell that Adam Cole is doing with his tanning people. Don't like it. Now after this, we have a sit-down interview with Ian Riccaboni with Jay Lethal and QT. QT ends up coming in there late like he's important because I guess that little match that he had with the pizza people has made him feel like he's just some kind of a big shot. Now, I'm just going to be real with you. I was uninterested with this, from the jump. And I'm gonna say why. When you think of like wrestling where there's those sit down interviews before pay-per-view matches, is usually big important matches, is usually things that have a strong build, but right before their match they just have that sit down interview with somebody. Now for this it didn't feel like anything because they actually had the little run in 2 episodes ago. So I don't know if anybody's actually invested in this, but they're having a sit down interview like as if this is like Rock versus Austin or something like that. It just didn't give me that vibe at all. They're sitting there talking about their time in Ring of Honor and how they, benefited from being in Ring of Honor. Some of their best moments in their careers have been within Ring of Honor, and how obviously they're happy to be here and that each of these guys want the win. Now, QT does talk about one of the matches that he's had was one of the survival of the fittest matches, and Jay Lethal was in that match, and he ended up, QT ended up getting his neck hurt, and basically saying, so this match is personal between you and me. And I was just like, oh, okay. And then he punches Jay Lethal dead on the motherfucking nose. Jay Lethal kind of squealed like a little schoolgirl and fell onto the ground, holding onto his face. And I'm just like, what? And instead of Jay Lethal getting his ass up to hit QT, he did nothing. He did nothing. Ian Riccaboni kind of moved out the way because he didn't want to get punched next. And then QT ends up leaving, and then they end up getting a medical professional to come help Jay Lethal. What the fuck are we doing with Jay Lethal? This is Jay Lethal we're talking about. I was not expecting this at all. For me, it's skippable. I didn't think that this did any favors for neither one of these guys. But whatever. They're trying to do a little something before the pay-per-view. After this, they showed the final battle match from 2023 with Billie Starkz versus Athena for the Women's Championship. I actually remember being at that show. Long story short, this was too long. This was a really long match, and I think it came up to somewhere between 30 and 40 minutes. So it took a huge chunk of the show, and mind you, Tony Khan is putting classic matches in between the Ring of Honor shows now, and for you to put on a really long match in the middle of a new show, I still don't think it's a good idea. And I really wish Tony Khan would watch my reviews, because like for real, I think I speak for a lot of people when I say that we don't want to see, especially really long matches in the middle of a brand new show. There's other ways to go about this, and this is just not crazy. Like, I'm literally on a live stream and not interested. People are just wanting to see the new shit. We're over here talking about Diddy case and Jersey Shore and all this shit, everything other than wrestling, because honestly you've lost our interest at that point. And it's not to say that the match was not good. It actually was good, and I remember being there and just be like, hey, these girls are tearing it up in here. However, we're watching a new show now. We've already moved on from these things, and there's a better way to be able to promote the library of Ring of Honor, and I don't think this is the best way to go. Whatever. We already know what happens, because our girl Athena has been champion for 2 fucking years now. After this, we do have Serpentico versus Sydney Akeem, which felt so motherfucking random after a match like that. Sydney Akeem ends up taking the win. He actually did a really great performance here. I mean, it's Serpentico. You're gonna beat Serpentico. I could beat Serpentico. I would like to see more of him within Ring of Honor. Now, after this, we do have 2 local talents going against Billie Starkz and Athena, who are teaming up. Throughout the match, Athena is using Billie Starkz as a weapon against these girls, which is something that she's done before in the past with Billie Starkz several times. She ends up taking the win for the team, Athena, but then Billie Starkz and Athena get into it when Billie Starkz takes Athena's spinner belt and breaks it. Lexi Nair had made that belt for her for being the longest reigning champion of Ring of Honor history. So then now Athena's upset. They have the fake ass security guards that are good for nothing to come and keep these girls away from each other. Billie Starkz punched the shit out of them, and then they kept fighting. Then another one came to get Athena off, and Athena beat the hell up out of him, and they went and gone at it. But we do have our girl Athena, who's standing tall in the end, and it's looking interesting in terms of their match that they're going to have tomorrow night. But honestly, I'm kind of over the whole thing. I do hope I'm a little bit in between in terms of what I think is going to happen on that. However, this right here was a great way to kind of get everybody in the mood for tomorrow night's main event. After this, they showed when Chris Jericho did his little promo from a car from when he went to go attack Matt Cardona at GCW. It was interesting to say the least. And when I say interesting, I don't care. We did have Lee Moriarty. There was like a video package pretty much promoting him and his little open challenge that he got going on tomorrow night. And then the main event was the Grizzled Young Veterans teaming up with Shane Taylor Promotions, and they went against the Undisputed Kingdom and the Dark Order. This felt so random, and it is what it is. The match was okay. Matter of fact, the Grizzled Young Veterans, they got into it with the Dark Order, and they end up just leaving the match, leaving just Lee Moriarty and Shane Taylor in the ring with the Undisputed Kingdom. We do have Shane Taylor Promotions end up taking the win for their team. Lee Moriarty, who is pinning Matt Taven, but also holding onto the ropes to make sure that he can hold on to that pin. Referee did not see it, so they end up taking the win. And I'm telling you, like, the Undisputed Kingdom, they look shocked as fuck. And I'm just gonna say this: if the Undisputed Kingdom was heels like they should be, they would not just be taking that shit just like that. They would be upset about it, and they would get in that ring and try to whoop the asses of Shane Taylor Promotions. And unfortunately, they don't do that. Honestly, this is a go-home show. It was underwhelming to me. However, I do feel like the show itself, the pay-per-view, is going to be great. Let's talk about the predictions. All right, real quick, let's talk about our predictions for Final Battle 2024. We do have 4 matches added for 0 Hour. If anybody's interested in seeing that, that will be on YouTube. That will also be on the Honor Club as well. But that part will be for free on YouTube. Now, Facebook and X and whatever else. I don't know. Now, so we have Harley Cameron versus Hanako from Stardom. I don't know, don't care. This just came out of the blue. I'm guessing Harley Cameron might take the win. I don't know. We also have tag team action with the Gates of Agony versus Lee Johnson, EJ Nduka. While I'm not mad about this being on here at all, I wish there was a little bit more time to build this up, because I think like they could really use a nice feud between both of these teams. But they're already going to put this on 0 Hour. And I'm just like, why put this on 0 Hour? Why not put this on the main card? Why not? Unfortunately, that's not the case. Now, for me, I am going for Gates of Agony to take the win. We'll see how wrong I am about that. We also have Alex Reynolds teaming up with John Silver to go against the Grizzled Young Veterans tomorrow, 0 Hour. This just came up out of the blue too, so I am not really sure. I guess I'm just going to go ahead and guess that Alex Reynolds and John Silver will end up taking the win. Another random match is the Infantry versus the Undisputed Kingdom. Now, they do have history with each other from earlier this year when the Undisputed Kingdom were the Ring of Honor Tag Champions. However, this one, like I said, is a little random for it to be happening right now. I guess we're just trying to fill in this card. So for me, I'm hoping that the Infantry takes the win. They've been doing their thing with Shane Taylor Promotions, and I really hope that we can keep that momentum going for this group. All right, so the main card, some matches have been added, and Lord have mercy, Christmas has come early for your girl. Katsuyori Shibata versus Tommy Billington. Lord have mercy, Lord. Tony Khan, you didn't come through for this episode of Ring of Honor, but the pay-per-view though, Tommy Billington versus Shibata. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I have no clue where this is going. I really don't know. These guys don't have history with each other. I don't think they've ever been in the ring with each other before. Whatever the situation is, Tony Khan, thank you. Shibata for the win for me. I'm cool with it going any other way, but Shibata is more of the Ring of Honor guy, so that's the reason why I am choosing him for the win. Mansoor is going to be on here versus Atlantis Jr. Maybe they've had a run-in with each other at CMLL. I'm not 100% sure, but this feels random as fuck. I don't even know what to say in terms of predictions on this. I don't even care. Now, QT versus Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal, you better whoop this guy's ass. I am just like, QT, I don't know. Jay, you better win. Pure title on the line with Lee Moriarty going against God knows who for this open challenge. I don't know who it's going to be, so it's hard to predict because it really depends on who this person is for me to make my prediction. So during the live stream, once this happens and I see who it is, I'll be able to predict that. But I would hate to see the pure title go at this point. But we still got to see who this opponent is going to be. Now we have the Ring of Honor TV title on the line, the men's TV title. We have Brian Cage putting his title on the line versus, oh, this is a survival of the fittest match. I actually really do like these type of matches. It's really cool. Brian Cage putting his title on the line against AR Fox versus Willie Mack versus Commander for whatever fucking reason, versus Blake Christian, I love you Blake, versus Mark Davis. Why is Commander in here? Tony Khan, didn't I say if somebody is in the Continental Classic, they don't need to be doing not a damn thing else? Like, did I not make myself clear? Brian Cage, oh, I think he's going to retain. I would prefer to see someone else get this because honestly, we haven't seen anything from Brian in this whole thing. So, to be fair, it's a little bit of both to me in terms of him losing the title and winning. If he retains, I'm cool with it. However, if I can choose anyone else to take the win, it would be AR Fox. I would like to see so much more with AR Fox, but we'll see what ends up happening with that. All right, Ring of Honor tag team titles on the line in a Texas Bull Rope match. We have Sammy Guevara, Dustin Rhodes, the Sons of Texas versus The Righteous. The Righteous, for me, The Righteous is all I want. That's Tony Khan. Please. I know they love Dustin. I know they love Sammy, blah, 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 whatever. But The Righteous, is their time. Is their time. Absolutely their time. I would love to see them win. For me, I'm going with this might even be match of the night. So we'll see what ends up happening with this. The Righteous is my pick. That doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. Women's TV title also on the line. Red Velvet versus Layla Hirsch. I see Red Velvet retaining. And if she retains, I want to see more from you, girl. I don't think we've seen enough of her with this title. Ring of Honor World Championship on the line. Chris Jericho versus Matt Cardona. I am going for Chris Jericho to retain. To be honest, I don't care much to see Matt Cardona with this title. I would prefer to see people who's actually been participating in Ring of Honor to be going for these titles. So for me, I can care less about either one of these guys winning or losing. But I do see Chris Jericho retaining this title to be the King of New York, whatever the hell he's been talking about. Main event will be the women's title, Billy Starks versus our girl Athena. I am divided on this because I would like to see Athena lose, but I also don't mind seeing her win. And the reason why I'm saying I don't mind seeing her win is because she's talked about defending this title internationally, which I would love to see. She will actually be representing Ring of Honor at Wrestle Dynasty for the International Women's Cup on January 6th, which makes me feel like, why should she turn up over there empty-handed? I think it would be best case scenario for her to walk in there with that title and possibly even win the International Women's Cup. I don't know if that would be the case, but something about that, of her being involved in that match, makes me feel like, okay, why not keep the title on her? Now, Billy Starks, I think she's worked hard, she's improved, but I don't see someone like Billy Starks actually taking the ranks of being that top person in terms of the women's division. I would have given it to somebody like Queen Aminata, honestly. Billy Starks, she's great. She's young. She has a lot to offer. But I really feel like she's not going to be able to hold a candle to what Athena's been doing these past 2 years. But who knows? Give her a chance and maybe we might see that from her. Honestly, I'm kind of doubting that at this point. Now, the card, I wish I could feel a little bit more happy up. Tony Khan, if I was booking things over there, I think this would have been a better card. I think I would have had better things for this pay-per-view. But either way, this is our card. This is what we're going to get. We're going to take it. And as usual, AEW pay-per-views, Ring of Honor pay-per-views are always on point. This is actually the least enjoyment I have in turn, well, excitement I've had for a Ring of Honor pay-per-view. Even when Tony Khan had purchased Ring of Honor, the first 3 pay-per-views, there were no shows. They didn't have any shows. Things weren't really playing out on Dynamite. And I think this was before Rampage. No, we had Rampage at some point. Nothing was playing out on those shows, but those turned out to be excellent pay-per-views. However, this time we actually have a show, and I feel like the booking and the road to Final Battle has just been very lackluster. Either way, I will be covering the show for a live watch along, so come on and see me then. And I'll also be doing a review as well, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a really great show. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review. Let me know what you guys think on about what's going to be happening at the pay-per-view, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at the Final Battle watch along. See you guys then. Bye.